Hey, and welcome to No Drinks in the Booth podcast, back with another classic episode. Today, episode 7, we are talking about sampling, which is Pav's topic. But before that, we've got news, we've got reviews, we've got Pavan Saki, the man with the opinions and the jokes.
Woo.
We've got Chris Watson, resident househead and coffee lover.
What's going on?
And myself, Waked here, holding it all together. How is everyone?
I didn't know that Chris was such a big coffee lover that it had to be in his introduction.
Do you know what? I kind of
thing?
like it in my introduction because it's true. I mean, I've had 3 cups a day already, not even going to lie.
To be honest, I just thought giving you a little, I'm going to try and change it every week, but it might just stay with what you've got. So if any major life sequence happens, let me know and I'll put it in your introduction.
I like mine. Well, that's cool.
Resident househead and coffee lover, and what Pav's one was the man with the opinions and the man with the jokes.
So basically your job is every week to come up with something better and better. It's just like it's like, roast battle at the beginning where the referee's where he's like, oh, the only rules are one rule, and then he says the other one. It's always a funny joke. This is you now. You are referee guy.
Yeah, well, I do have news and reviews to do. So,
I'm sorry to bring it up again, but also Pav, the irrational hater of Be Young. We still need to get to the bottom of this. I'm confused, mate. I'm confused.
It's just we need a bit of an arsehole when I met him.
Quickly, because we can talk about Pav's hate for Be Young forever. What's everyone been up? What's everyone been up to first?
I don't know what you guys are on about.
Yeah, what's everyone done?
As you can see behind me, if you're watching on YouTube, even though obviously times like this, there's no gigs, so financially, we're trying our best. But I've basically taken the really smart decision of buying like a full Nexus CDJ and mixer setup, as well as just obviously buying not too long ago new needles for my turntables. I mean, the bill is growing, and
I'd like to interject.
I need some gigs quick.
I'd like to interject. He's got all this gear, and he had an S9, but he sold the S9. Yeah,
Wait, this is a DJ. This is a DJ podcast, and you just outed me. Yeah. Now people are not going to respect me at all.
Turntablists in the comments. Oh no, let's go.
Turntablists they're gonna hate me. But for anyone listening, S9 is like a battle mixer for turntablists. And yes, I had one for about not even a month. I basically had a go in it a few times. It was actually great. Like honestly, it's an amazing bit of kit. It is awesome.
I've got one.
In an ideal world, I could have both, but unfortunately, I had to move it on so I could get my setup.
The world is not ideal. Okay.
Yeah.
Chris was fully like, times are tough, so I bought CDJs and a 900 Nexus.
I know.
Did someone, can you hear that? Oh, sorry. I thought someone said middle class.
Pav, why did you have to do that? Why do you always have to go there, mate? It always makes me feel uncomfortable. Anyway,
let's move on from Chris and his Pioneer setup. Pav, what have you been doing?
I've had a bit of a quiet week. I bought a PlayStation, so I've been absolutely rinsing career mode right now.
Nice.
I'm Villa at the moment, 6 in the league. Been watching a bit of NBA. The NBA's been decent.
It has been.
I've not seen the Milwaukee Bucks scores yet, though, so I need to check that. So I don't know if we're out or not yet. So I'm pretty sure we played.
You're still in. You couldn't go out even if you wanted to.
But man like Giannis is obviously injured, isn't he? So
sprained his ankle. Well, you're gonna have a gentleman's sweep, so you're gonna get one game and then you'll be out on the next one, I reckon.
Oh well, that's great. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
What about you, mate?
Sorry.
How's your week been?
Pretty
now
good.
That you've ruined mine.
Yeah, well, ain't my fault. The Bucks suck. So, what have I done? Not much. The usual stuff. Been big into the NBA like I normally am, and it's obviously playoffs. Go Lakers and go Raptors. That's who I want to see. But I got a new DJ bag. Not that I'm DJing.
Oh, did you? What'd you get?
I did. I got a Toomey backpack. It's one I've wanted for ages. They did a line with DJ Vice. Shout out to DJ Vice. And it's the same one as that, but not the DJ Vice one because they don't make it anymore. So very happy about that. And it looks very nice and pretty, but it's just not getting used.
Yeah, I bought a new one just before we had Corona as well. Like literally, it was like Feb, and I bought it and I used it. What 3 weeks?
Yeah,
it's quite sad to be fair to know that I spent that much money and then it's sitting in my living room.
Well, mine's all nice, like shiny and brand. Like when it's got that brand new bag look and smell.
Brand new bags. Is there anything better than brand new bag smell? Like genuinely, like.
Well, brand new car smell, but no, I can't afford one, so not brand new one.
I just throw in a weird one here, just while we're still talking about it. Have you guys ever smelt, like a tennis balls that come in a can?
Yes, I love that smell.
Yes, sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't the fucking weird one.
No, love that. Chris is looking as if saying, "I've never sniffed tennis balls."
I only see tennis balls when we go to Wimbledon.
They were the good old times. Wimbledon, drinking tea,
strawberries and cream.
Strawberries and cream. Those good times that I obviously always do. Like I miss those.
Well, for anyone watching on YouTube, because obviously we do go out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts,
and Google if they actually reply to our emails.
They're Google haters. They see that Chris's beard is getting progressively longer and longer and longer. Chris, what's the deal with the beard? Tell us.
Now I'm looking at it. I think it might need to be shaved off. I think in a bit, guys. It's getting a bit out of hand now. It's just, it's just it was the quarantine look, and now I think kind of lockdown is slowly ending, thankfully, and I think it's time maybe to say goodbye. I don't know. What do you think?
The reason I asked this is Sam, my girlfriend, as you know, said, "What is going on with Chris's beard?" And I said, "Well, he's growing it out. I think times are getting hard. It's getting to him. He's growing that beard out." And she went, "Don't like it."
It was basically he can either buy a razor or he can buy CDJs, and
obviously buy CDJs every time.
Yeah, buy the new CDJ 7200, mate. That's coming out.
Well, hold your thoughts on that. That is in the news. And speaking of news, let's move on to the news this week. Woo. Okay, first things first. I've put this at the start, even though I don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about him because we have to. So 6ix9ine has dropped his brand new album, Tattletale. It is available on all the platforms like normal. Pav, you should definitely put your thoughts in about this.
Do you know what the problem is? It's just like, I'm done hating. Like, I can't even hate on him anymore. I'm just that annoyed.
Have you listened to the album by any chance?
I actually really like my ears, and so I will not do that to them. Like, the only way I would have listened to the album is if he had called it Splinter Season because of what Charlie Sloss said about him. If he had called it Splinter Season, I would have actually semi-backed it. But I'm just done, man. Like, can we just forget about like this kind of stuff? Like 10 years, like people always like, oh, like gangsters these days and gangsters before were different things. This is like proof. Like this, like, can you imagine a rapper like doing this like 10 years ago?
Well, look, my whole thoughts, I've actually listened to the album.
I never liked him anyway, though, so I always thought he was a bit shouty.
I'm not a fan. Again, it's a bit shouty. It sounds like a 6ix9ine album. If you're a 6ix9ine fan, you'll like it. If you're not, you won't. It's very Marmite. My whole thing is, let's just leave it in 2020. Chris?
Yeah, to be honest, I've actually not listened to it. I've been busy listening to Disclosure on vinyl. Just getting spiritually lifted and just being smooth and listening to great written music as opposed to listening to 6ix9ine shouting. So yeah, but I will listen through it. I will listen through it because he, as we said on our podcast when we discussed him, I do find him entertaining, but nothing more than entertaining. Musically, unfortunately, it's really not there for me yet. So I will listen to it, but I'm not going to until I can.
Chris is just there making Disclosure and Pop Smoke remixes. Now we're talking. Just exclusively.
Speaking of Disclosure, nice little link into the next one. DJ EZ and Disclosure are part of Radio 1's residency.
We love to see it.
That has been announced. Disclosure are on the second Monday of the month, beginning the 21st of September. DJ EZ is the fourth Monday of the month, beginning the 28th of September. They're both in the 1 to 2 a.m. time slot. Thoughts on, let's do EZ first.
The GOAT. Is there much more to say?
Legendary. He will be showcasing new and classic garage. That's what
He's just too good. He's just too good. He might have the most famous DJ moment of all time.
Well, he's
that boiler
room. Well, I was going to say that. One is extremely technically gifted. Two is actually, I've worked with EZ. I'm sure, I don't know if you used to have. I think you have worked with him before.
I haven't actually.
Okay,
He played at Stu's once though.
I've worked with him a few times at different venues when I first started out and not long ago. And one is one of the nicest guys in the world, and two, he is a goat.
Well,
Let's be real,
as Majestic said, your favourite DJ's favourite DJ, which is true in a lot of
100%,
cases.
yeah.
And yeah, man, he's up there as one of my favourite DJs, so that's awesome. Anything good that comes to him, deserved.
Yeah. The only thing is that cap must be getting a bit sweaty after 25 years because he ain't changed it.
No, he's got his own EZ branded caps.
Oh, has he changed it? Is he not wearing the Nike cap?
No, EZ
what
branded.
is this, man?
I remember when he
Everyone's selling
stopped
out
wearing
these days.
Nike, and I remember when on Twitter there was like a big like outrage because he stopped wearing Nike. I remember that. It was like, but now kind of used to it now. The EZ hat, I think you get to a certain level, you're wearing your own branded clothes.
Yeah, true. And thoughts on disclosure as well with the Radio 1 residency.
Go on, Chris.
Chris, you should love this, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a massive fan. You can see the vinyl here if you're watching on YouTube or whatever. It's the only thing is interesting about EZ and Disclosure, because EZ obviously comes from Kiss, Garage. You can play a lot of kind of pop tracks and stuff mixed in with Garage, like new stuff and remixes and things like that, like radio friendly stuff that, Jenny, in her Fiat can tune into and be like, oh, I love this song. But Disclosure, when I listen to a Disclosure set, I want it like an hour of really like undiscovered, tailored, researched, crate digging, deep house tracks. I don't know. It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Quickly to interject, have you ever listened to the Radio 1 residency before? Either of you?
I have.
Yeah.
So you're good. I think I have not.
It's a bit more that style, to be fair.
So basically, me and Pav will know what you don't. Is what you said about Disclosure is what it will be, because that's what the point of the residency is.
Oh, is that the point? It's not a radio, radio.
Yeah,
okay.
They can either do their research or hire DJs that already do it. So they've done that.
In the last 5 years, my kind of radio listening kind of stops at Mr. Jam show on a Saturday, which I think we're all a big fan of, aren't we? Like the dance anthems.
One of the nicest people.
So other than that, I don't listen too much radio, but I guess, having heard what you said, I'm into, if I can listen back on BBC Sounds or something like that to the Disclosure sets, I can see how it could work really well. I can see how it could
so
work.
Basically the Radio 1 residency is a showcase of new and upfront music in a short, as well as mixed in with some classics they might play. Okay, moving on. ASAP Ferg got kicked out of the ASAP mob, according to the founder of the ASAP mob, ASAP Ills. Well, this is a bit nutty, isn't it?
It's a bit weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it was just a bit like. It was just a bit like.
Ferg is the only one putting out tracks.
Everyone was just like, you know what the worst thing is? Everyone was just like, yo, who are the other members though?
Yeah, besides Rocky, no one cared.
Like, and in fairness, they kind of got a point. Like, really, no one cares about all the other guys.
The only two people really in ASAP mob people musically care about is Ferg and ASAP Rocky.
Yeah.
In other stuff, like clothing, like V-Lone and stuff like that, there's obviously ASAP Nast and all that, but that's separate to the music.
To be fair,
Chris?
My respect died for them when they did Red Bull Culture Clash. Did you guys watch?
I watched that.
Oh my god, it was like, yo, like, can you guys do 5 minutes of research on how this works, please, instead of just playing your song and letting people twerk?
They looked a bit lost, but I'm a big fan of ASAP Mob and ASAP Rocky and ASAP
check.
Yeah. Big fan of all the ASAP in general. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't like musically, Ferg and Rocky, the ones I've listened to over the years. Obviously, they've had massive hits, haven't they? So, yeah, crazy. I mean, I think maybe business-wise, I'm not sure that's the best choice, kicking Ferg out, because he brings a lot to the table, right? So, crazy.
Yeah, but let's see how that
it's all still unfolding, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Watch it get kicked out, brought back in, kicked out, brought back in. Who knows? Okay, moving on. The DJ Khaled and Drake song Popstar dropped this week with its video, which featured Justin Bieber. It says in the notes, please watch video. Chris did not please watch video until we just recorded. So Chris,
sorry,
you're going to go first.
Hold on. Pav also did not watch it. And so
but I get away
and Pav,
with it.
Somehow, I think favouritism
listen,
here. You
to be
get
fair,
away with it.
Chris, ethnic minorities were sticking up for each other, mate.
I'm used to Pav being 1 late and 2 not watching stuff.
Oh, so when I do it, it's more shocking. Okay, I see. All right. Well,
Yes,
I'm sorry,
yes.
Wade. Wade, I'm so sorry for not watching it. But
You
I
did
watched
watch
it, and I'm glad I did. Great video. Yeah. And I thought from that EP, the Grease, which was the other song on that EP, wasn't it?
Yep.
That was actually my favourite track. I really that was a good sort of catchy kind of forward thinking.
Yeah.
I've not had anything like that before. It was like, wow, this is fresh. But now with this video, it's funny how videos can change your perspective on things, because now I'm kind of liking Popstar a little bit more. So both kind of do, I think, do really well. And the video, yeah, it's great. It's great.
I preferred the Popstar song to the Grease song anyway.
Oh, really? Okay.
We were just saying prior to podcast recording that Grease is officially the fuckboy anthem.
Yeah.
Like what did it replace? What was the previous? It was in Mood Swings.
Yeah, maybe. Because it's all I see on Instagram stories of people like posting it in their car or in a nice house or, stuff like that. A pool party, maybe, if they're abroad.
People are like, here's a picture of my arse in a dress. Come with me. We go
Pretty much. Okay. Also, Drake's In My Feelings hit record hit 1 billion plays on Spotify. There's also an Instagram post of him eating out of the plaque. Spaghetti, it looked like. 1 billion plays for In My Feelings. That is mental.
Yeah, that's mad.
It's like a lot. Like people don't really. This is a thing. So I was watching this thing about how much a billion is, and they were like, if you got like £1 for every minute you live, they were like, to be a millionaire, it would take like 12 days or something, some weird thing like that. Like 12 weeks or something weird. They were like, if you want to become a billionaire, like with that method, they were like, you need to like live till like 364 or something. Like billion is a lot of people listening to a tune. That was also the first TikTok tune. Really, that was that song walked so that Savage Love could like fly.
Well, the thing is, 1 billion plays on Spotify is a big achievement, unless you're BTS, which most probably get 1 billion plays straight away.
Yeah.
But that is another subject. But yeah, billion plays is a lot of plays on just Spotify as well. That's not Apple Music. That's not Amazon or Google or any stuff like that. That's a big achievement.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't he? Did he ever deal with just Apple before he released that album? Was it like his tunes were just coming out on
I think
Apple?
So yeah.
I mean, so he's obviously realizing that he's losing out on a lot of views there. Clearly, because the guy had 1 billion listens on one song. It wasn't even a single.
No.
It only became a single because so many people listened to it. It's crazy.
Absolutely mental. Okay, moving on to the last part of the news. Pioneer DJ released their New Dimension ad, which we don't know what it's for, but we're assuming it's the CDJ 3000, I'd guess. And as we're talking, literally before we started this podcast, there was some photos of what could be a CDJ 3000.
They look like shit.
Okay.
They look a bit dodgy, let's be honest. It's fake.
If it's real, though,
I hope it's fake.
It could be. It could be fake.
It's not an official photograph. It could be fake. It could just be a Denon DJ player with a Pioneer thing stuck on, or it could be a Numa. It could be anything. It could be saying someone's made in their garage.
You had the Denon album artwork in the middle of the deck, which is an interesting design choice. I'm not sure if Pioneer are going to follow suit on that. We'll see.
It's on some of their other kit now, to be fair. It's on the XZ, the new.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
All-in-one.
So it could be.
It's on the DDJ 1000 as well. It's become a thing, but you don't need that if you've got a massive fuck off 7-inch screen at the top, because obviously the controllers don't. It just looks like a shitty DVJ. You guys played on a DVJ before?
Yes.
Oh my god! Like genuine, I played on one once. It's basically a CDJ 1000 with a DVD drive in it. except for the fact that it's about 3 times the size.
Yeah, it's massive.
Oh my god!
The thing is, I swear the first thing I saw when I saw it could be a new CDJ is that so you've got the CDJ 2000, which are behind me, CDJ 2000 Nexus, which are like the latest ones, right? That's the latest CDJs. So and they are to anyone listening who doesn't know about DJ equipment. I mean, if you want to buy 2 CDJ Nexuses with a mixer, which is the middle segment. That's £5,500 I was looking at it.
Yeah, it's like 5.5 to buy
and a lot of
these
clubs
days.
that we're playing in. I mean, there's one club I play in which have the latest setup, and other than that, I mean, no other clubs everyone's playing catch up. I mean, 2000s are quite common now, but and 2000 Nexus 2s, I think they're bringing them out too soon if it's a new CDJ, because I don't know about you guys think, but surely they've only been out for a short amount of time, relatively short amount of time. The Nexus 2s, like people are still.
They've been out for 5 years.
That's crazy because they're still so expensive, and they're still not everywhere, are they? They're still not in.
No, you're right.
Most clubs, are they? So I don't know if they're stepping too far ahead.
I play with them a lot.
I'll be completely honest. I don't think it's going to be a CDJ 3000, as everyone seems to think.
XDJ.
I think or it's going to be 2000 Nexus 3 or 2500. It's going to be between. It's not going to be the 3000. I'd be excited if it was a video of maybe the S9 Mark II, or
they're saying that's coming.
Yeah, but I'm very happy with the S9 that I use anyway.
It's just a little bit behind now on a couple of the rain bits. There's a couple of little bits that haven't aged. Like the hot Q section, you can't change it on different on both sides, can you? The pads. No, you can't. The pads definitely the same.
Yeah, I think it's going to be stuff like that. Yeah, or if they brought out, I don't know, a PLX 2000, the turntables, but I don't think they should, because you don't need to add anything. They're fine as they are. Yeah. So I think it's going to be not a 3000, but between the 2000 Nexus and the 3000, whatever that would be.
I think they've been very clever with the naming of their previous items. I think the reason why the XDJ is not the XDJ 2000, because I think this next one is going to be that.
Yeah.
Because surely no one needs a CD drive. I don't even have a laptop with a CD drive. Why do I need, where am I going to get these discs? Although I was saying to Chris earlier, when I was in my loft, because I do buy CDs occasionally, just for the collection. And I found an unsealed copy of Skepta Konnichiwa, and I was like, I feel good.
Well, CDs are becoming extinct. So I don't know whether it has a CD drive. No, whether it has a CD drive or it doesn't. I think we're all excited for what Pioneer are bringing next. Yep. So Pioneer, if you want to hook any of us up, we'll send you our contact info.
If anybody wants to sign up to my OnlyFans so that I can afford this, you're more than welcome. Because that's the only way I'm getting them.
Okay, moving on from Pav's OnlyFans, and should we do some reviews?
Yeah.
Okay, just to refresh everyone on the way we do the reviews, because we changed the review system last week. We rate it 1 to 5 drinks. You obviously know what that means. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, and everything in between. Sliding scale. Don't forget as well, we also do a track of the week at the end, and you can find any of these songs on our Spotify playlist. So make sure you listen to them and let us know if you agree with us or you don't. And speaking of reviews, let's start. The first one, Sagala. It features James Arthur. The track is called Last in Love. Chris?
Yeah, really enjoyed this one. Obviously, I'm a big fan of just that amazing, crystal clear production. James Arthur, I swear he was in a lot of trouble not long ago. Did he say something controversial? Was he homophobic or something like that? And I thought he was dropped by his label and crazy stuff. I was so shocked to see him.
That is the first I've heard of it.
So have I.
Yeah.
Chris is just cancelling artists here.
I know. Poor James Arthur's done. Poor James Arthur's actually not done anything, and Chris is I swear he said something homophobic.
So he did do it, but it was in 2013.
Oh, okay, a long time ago now. Okay, well, do you know what though? It's great
thoughts on the track.
Yeah,
thoughts
great
on
tracks,
the track.
Great record. Sagala's amazing. It's 4 out of 5 for me.
Wicked. That's a good rating for that. Pav?
I actually really liked it. Don't tend to be a fan of James Arthur music, but obviously I listened to the tune and I was like, it's decent. My only gripe with it was actually, sort of the lead melody and then the vocal melody for me didn't quite go together. It almost felt like they'd made the track and they were like, yeah, go on, we've got these vocals, let's like kind of slap them on.
Well, I was going to mention the lead melody is a sample from a MGMT track called
Sample. Ooh.
Wait,
where's that coming
I feel
from?
like you might know this. It's an MGMT track.
It's not Kids. Kids.
No, not
Yeah,
Kids.
yeah.
It's another one.
I know which one you're on about.
Yeah.
It sounded what I've got written here. It sounded very, very example-y.
Yeah, that
like
kind of
kickstart kind of sound.
Yeah.
I love.
I heard it straight away and I was like, this is amazing. Like, just feel good. Like, big
I'll
tune.
check it on who sampled in a minute.
Yeah, MGMT something. I can't remember.
But yeah,
but interesting. Sorry, Pav.
I give it a 3 out of 5 just because of that melody discrepancy. But yeah, what do you think, mate?
Well, I agree with you. I give it a 3 out of 5 as well. Purely because I don't know. It sounds like a Sigala track. I don't think necessarily James Arthur fits on it very well.
Who would you have had on it instead?
Well,
it's a very meta question.
Who would I have had on the Sigala track? Storm Queen. Because why not?
Yeah,
because I think the voice would have suited it, but that's just the in the sky thing. If we could, I don't know. James Arthur fits on it well, but it doesn't fit on it well enough. I don't really know. It gets 3 out of 5 from me just because of that. It's most probably going to do well, and I do like it. I think it's more of the more you listen to it, the more you appreciate it. Pav, any idea on the sample?
I'm still searching it, mate.
Okay, well. We can move on.
It's Time to Pretend. MGMT is where the hook's from.
And how fitting. We should have saved this for the last. If we knew this was going to happen, we should have saved it for the last track.
I know.
It's right. The last track works as well.
Great
tune. Great tune.
Okay, right. Moving on. The next track, Red Card. It's by Frisco, Skepta, Jammer, Jamie, and Shorty. It's a BBK basically. Pav.
Yo, I actually really like this song. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. I listened to it and I was like, yes, it's like old school grime thing. Just like maybe want to headbutt my nan. Like that, like when you just like gritty and you're like, mean. I was listening to it and he just had my head bopping. Like, and obviously like I really, really rate Frisco because I think he's proper underrated, but he is double decent. It was basically just a BBK record. It's just I don't think they can get the admin done properly to make it actually a BBK record, which is probably why they don't. But every album that they do has one of these kind of tunes on it where everybody's on it. Might actually also be the first good verse from Jammer.
Oh.
And I'm throwing that. And I'm bigging him up here. I'm not trying to shoot him, but ratings, mate.
Okay. I mean, did you give it 4?
Yeah, I give it 4.
Okay, Chris?
Yeah, Pav took the words out of my mouth. I give it 4 as well.
First good Jammer.
Not that to be fair. His verse is good though, but Jammer's got some bars. Like I just think, it's just sometimes I don't know. Obviously, he's not done as like he's not as global as like Skepta, is he? Like so it's easy to say. Oh, he's
Chris
not
is just trying to save the collaboration.
but the track goes hard, like, and it's kind of trappy, but really it's like a grime track, and it's good to see these guys going back to grime, and it's got loads of energy. So wicked, 4 out of 5.
Okay, my thoughts on Red Card. I give it 4 out of 5 as well, so it gets 3 4 out of 5s. I basically wrote down it's grime in its 2020 glory.
Yeah,
it's very
modern grime.
It's fresh.
I think they've all got good verses. There's not really, it's very far. It's not very far off of being a 5 from me. But it does get a 4. I really dig it. It's like my type of track.
We have to say 5s for the absolute top level bangers, innit?
You know that.
That's the problem.
Right, let's listen to some more bangers. The track's called Sweet and Sour. It's by, I'm going to say Josh. It's spelt like Josh. So It's hard to say. Josh 685 featuring how would you say that? Lauv?
That
This
one
is a very-
and Tiger.
Yeah, and Tiger. It's a very hard one to say. The track's called Sweet and Sour. Pav?
Oh, I just didn't like it, innit? Just didn't like it.
Pav, speak your truth.
I was listening to it. I was like, oh, yo, big ups, like man, like Josh, like he's gone from Savage Love.
Savage
like,
Love.
I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? Like fair play. Like this kid was like probably producing in his room, and now he's had like probably the biggest song of 2020, pretty much. Savage Love up there, and then I'm thinking, yeah, he's got a tune with Tiger now, and Tiger was doing all sorts in quarantine. Like the guy was dropping bangers. And then I was like, oh, this is going to be really good. And then I listened to it and I was like, this is just the offcuts from Savage Love, really. But just wasn't a fan. So
how many drinks?
I'm going to have to give it, by virtue of me not liking the melody, it's just going to have to be a 1. Because it just started, as soon as I started listening to it, I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to this anymore.
Wow.
Well,
okay,
I think, is that the first one? I think that's the first one we've ever given. I think.
I probably won't be my last.
No, yeah, I was going to say, it's not going to be Pav's last, trust me. Chris, thoughts, drinks, tell me.
The track's good. It's a happy track. It's a pop track. Obviously, this guy's come from nowhere, and it's great to see like a producer come from nowhere to now working with global artists. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5.
Okay. Sweet and Sour by Josh 685 featuring Luav and Tiger. It gets 2 from me. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I just, for the sort of the reasons Pav said, but I also like it for the reasons that you've said. It just, I feel like it's going to just float on by and disappear. It's not a classic. It's not awful. And I really hope Josh brings out some more heat, because Savage Love he did sick with, and I wish independent producers the best. So I actually think you can do a better follow-up than that. And it's hard to follow up Savage Love, let's face it.
Do you think though, obviously listening to it, so I was like, oh, it's still got that same kind of sound signature. Do you think it kind of proves that sort of TikTok music is a little bit throwaway, in the sense that maybe the producers that get big on there get big by virtue of kind of, a lot of it's luck, like if the song fits a video or a dance or something, it works.
Yeah.
Do you think it just makes them lack a little bit of substance?
Maybe, but maybe not, because I don't know what his back
thanks for that great answer. Because
the only reason I say that is because the only time I knew who that Josh was from the Laxed beat, which is Savage Love. And it sounds really silly. He could have produced God knows how many more tracks that are absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I think it's hard to judge them when they're producing just for TikTok, and that's their only sort of thought. Like they just want to produce stuff for TikTok. Then it's throwaway, because TikTok's throwaway. Okay, moving on. The track's called "Tell Me a Ting." It's the grime legend DEE featuring another grime legend, Kano. I'll start with this one. It literally. I love this track. I'm a massive fan of DEE, massive fan of Kano. It's like that far off of getting a 5. It's very close to a 5. It gets a 4. When I first heard it, which I think was on the Toddler T show on BBC Radio 1.
Legend.
I literally was like, I need to download this. I loved it. Big track from 2 absolute legends. It gets 4 out of 5. Pav?
It was a 3 out of 5. I just can't get Kano's, like Kano just sounds too good, so it just has to be a 4. Like you said, 2 big legends. Kano's really like matured as an artist these last couple of years.
100%.
Kano's doing that same thing, you know, like Wretch was like hard. He was like big raps, and then he was like started dropping like was fire in the booths, and you're like, yo, this guy's deep. Kano's got that same kind of thing. I feel like this is the best he's ever rapped.
Wow. But did you give it 4?
Yeah, I gave it a 4, yeah.
Nice. Chris?
Yeah, it's got to be a 4 as well. Like another...
we agreed.
Another...
This don't happen often.
Grime track that's coming out.
I know.
Maybe Grime's coming back. No, it's not. It's only 2 tracks.
It never left, bro.
It never left, yeah. But still, it's great. 2 big Grime records, like all really authentic, vibey, aggressive, how it should be. 4 out of 5, wicked track.
Right, we'll just have to start dropping Grime as a lifestyle. Big it up, rinse it out.
Well, shout out to DEE and Kano. Like, I was a huge fan of DEE when I was younger, and still am. And Kano Kano and Dizzy to me are like my two favourite MCs.
Never been a more iconic MC than DWE. Because as soon as man goes, ooh, you know it's game over.
Yeah, that's exactly. It. Okay, moving on. The track's called Drama. It's by Wankelmutt and Jack Wins. Chris, let's start with you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not really like my style.
You just heard that and you knew it was going down.
It's the production's great. It's not quite to like my taste and my style of house music, but I'm sure it's like a Tomorrowland kind of style, highlight reel sort of song. So big shouts to Wankelmutt and Jack Wins, but it's just not quite to my taste. But the track's good, so 3 out of 5, I think, for me on the tracks.
Well, that was our resident tastemaker and house aficionado, Chris Watson, with his thoughts. Pav?
Yeah, I kind of thought the same sort of stuff. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because despite me thinking that it was a little bit photo rolly, it did also just sound kind of good. Not amazing, but it wasn't like this wasn't like blowing my mind, but I was like, yeah, it's pretty decent. So I gave it a 3.
Literally, I think we are matching scores today because I've got a 3 as well.
Was it just me? Sorry, just to cut you there. Don't you think that this week's releases have been like one of the better ones that we've done? I feel like
because we all agree.
No, I was just listening to them like this week, and I was like, actually, you know what? Normally there's like 3 or 4 really good songs, and maybe that's it. Everything else is just sort of like cannon fodder. This week, I was like, yo, there's actually quite a few decent songs here that like I want to listen to again.
Yeah, there's definitely quality releases this week. That's the only issue when it comes to me doing releases is I put them together and not all of them are great. Sometimes we get loads of good ones, sometimes we don't. It's all on the release schedule.
But it's all right because Be Young didn't really. I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm joking.
More shots fired. Okay, just quickly to reiterate, it got 3 from me, Drama, purely because I thought it was good. I actually didn't mind it. I think it's well produced. Like I know what Chris is saying. It's not your type of house, but I think it's well produced. And you could see it in a Tomorrowland sort of reel. So it gets 3. Let's move on. A big collaboration now. The track's called Do It. It's by Chloe, Hailey, Doja Cat, City Girls, and Mulatto. Pav?
I gave it a 2 out of 5 because I was kind of listening to it, and I really like that style of music. It's not. It is very known that is kind of my little section of
niche
tunes that I like, and I was like, I was listening to it and I was like, I can't really fault it. Like I can't be like it's shit, but there was just like nothing that was pulling me in to make me want to listen again, which is why I gave it a 2. But yeah.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, this is my kind of R&B. I really like the original, and now they've done the remix, which is like expected. You want to do a remix, and they've picked some great features for the remix. But yeah, this is my kind of R&B, so it's a 4 out of 5 for me on the drink scale.
Okay, I agree with Chris. I gave it 4 out of 5 as well. Sorry, Pav. I gave it 4 out of 5 as well. I like the original and I like the remix. Big remix with City Girls and Doja Cat and Mulatto. It's just well made, and it's R&B, like literal R&B. So it gets 4 out of 5. And moving away from R&B, next, Tom Zanetti featuring Silky. The track is called Flight Mode. You can fight to the death. Who wants to go first?
Go on, Chris. You go.
I'll give it a go. Tom Zanetti, when he dropped You Want Me, produced by Chris Lorenzo, that track, that went off that track. Yeah, it was, yeah. You know, big tune. I love Tom Zanetti, how it's so like authentic, just leads like going out, weekend warrior. Like this track's like a deep house track, if you want to call it kind of deep house, but it's just that proper kind of like that kind of culture. Like it's just, he just sticks to that, and he's got
a club as well now.
He's got a club now, you know, that whole kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty authentic. I'll give it 3 out of 5.
Okay, Pav.
I agree with all those things, except I don't like the vocals. So I gave it a 2. I was listening to it. I was like, nah. I was like, this isn't right.
What, Silky's vocals or?
Yeah, I was just listening to it. I was like, I just didn't. It just didn't sit. I don't know. I say a lot of the time, because I'm not like a big house head. I'm like kind of still getting into it, like that sort of style of music. So the vocals are a big thing for me. The reason why I listen to house a lot of the time is just because it tends to be more melodic than most other music, especially now. And I was like, it's not really sitting with me, this one. But yeah.
Okay, and you gave it, sorry, what did you give it?
A 2.
Okay, I give it a 4. And I will tell you why I give it a 4, because I could imagine playing this in my DJ sets and it working very well.
There you go.
And that, at the moment, obviously, we're not DJing, but...
Well, good luck. Wait 6 months.
Yeah, but one of the things that really makes me like tracks, even if it's not a personal like, but like DJ-wise, is if they get a really good reaction. I end up liking the track because I love the reaction. Yeah. And I feel like this would get a banging reaction. And Tom Zanetti is like... so authentic in what he does, like Chris said, like it's really authentic. And the name of his club is called Dollhouse, by the way.
It's just like brilliant. Like obviously it is.
We should go.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Tom Zanetti track. It is a Tom Zanetti track. It fits. It doesn't sound like he's trying to do something completely different or something that's not in his lane. So he gets 4, and I'm sticking with the 4 for flight mode. Okay, moving on from Leeds to the Bay Area. The track is called Down. It's by G-Eazy featuring Mulatto. Chris?
Whoever produced this beat, unreal. Like, great production. And like the bars go pretty hard as well. It's definitely one for bumping in the car. So this one's a 4 out of 5 for me on the drink scale.
Pav?
I actually really like the hook on this tune. The hook is decent. It's gonna have to be my first half drink today, and it's my only half drink of the day. It's a 3.5, just because after the hook it didn't quite sit with me, but the beat is hard. The beat is actually really hard. Like, I need to find that on Got Instrumentals later.
Okay, so Down, Jeezy featuring Mulatto. For me, I gave it a 4. I'm a Jeezy fan. You're right, the beat is banging. I really like the hook. I really like Jeezy's flow. I like the feature with Mulatto in it, so it gets 4 from me. Okay, moving back to the UK. Pounds, the track's called TikTok. Pav?
I gave this a 3 out of 5. Actually, not because of any TikTok reference, because I feel like he's called it TikTok to clickbait you into clicking on the song, but the song's not about TikTok. Like, it's just a good song. He just happens to say TikTok in it, like he's using it in a non-cringy way. It was decent. It's just not quite my style of hip hop. But yeah, it was cool. So 3 out of 5. And he signed to Tiny, so he gets a 3.
Chris?
I think obviously the rise of TikTok, but also I think a lot of artists are calling their tracks TikTok. So when people type TikTok music into YouTube or Google or something, these tracks comes up. It's really smart. Like
just Pounds and Mabel.
Because Clean Bandit reviewed it last week. Had the track called TikTok as well.
Yeah, and obviously it's all they're putting it, obviously through the internet into that like world. Then hopefully people pick it up and start using it in the videos, because we know that's big at the minute. But yeah, Pav's right. Like, it's weird. It's kind of, if you like listen to the lyrics, and then I can't imagine, like a, young Jenny like on TikTok with her little sister doing a little dance to this. It's a bit like, there's a bit of a gap there. I'm not sure where but yeah, the track actually goes pretty hard. So 3 out of 5 drinks for me.
Okay, shout out to Jenny. The track TikTok by Pounds. Look, I like the track. I don't like the fact it's called TikTok, because I feel like, it's just clickbaity. But I really like the track. If it wasn't called TikTok, it'd get a 4. But because it's called TikTok, it gets a 3.
It's like good clickbaity though, isn't it? It's like, it's clickbait, but it's actually good content. Yeah,
the track's worth a 4, but, just can everyone stop calling their tracks TikTok? Moving on. Whip That Work by K-Trap. Pav?
Same kind of thing. Not quite my style, but I can't say it's a bad song, so it's a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, okay.
Simple.
Chris?
K-Trap used to wear the mask, right?
Yeah.
That's the guy, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think so. Like when he wore the mask, like that was like a crazy vibe when he was wearing the mask. That was like pretty mad look. I almost feel like he should like wear the mask again. Like,
the mask was a thing with everyone for a while, wasn't it? There's like a few.
But I think K-Trap was like the first one to do it. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was such a smart move, and also it looks sick. But yeah, the track, I can't really knock it. It's a 3 out of 5 for me on the drink scale. It's a good track.
Okay, yeah. It gets a 3 out of 5 for me with the drinks as well. I like it. I don't think I play it that much. I don't know if I'd listen to it. I feel like, again, I say this a lot, some tracks just float by, and I feel like that might be one. It wouldn't be the top of my listening, but it wouldn't be the bottom. Okay, next track by Jericho featuring Screw Fizzer. The track is called Pose Like That. I will start with this one. It gets a very, very solid 4. I would bang this in a club, and I'd mostly listen to it. I think it's pretty sick. I love all this type of like dancey, housey, like bassy stuff. So yeah, gets a 4 from me. Chris?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3 out of 5. I think the track's good. Yeah, it's cool. It's just a cool track. Interesting to see how well it does. 3 out of 5 for me on the drinks.
Okay, moving on, Pav.
Yeah, it was going to be a 3 out of 5, and then I heard the drop, and I was like, love this, 4. Just straight away, I was like, yeah, yep. 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just is a good song.
Yeah. See, me and Pav are vibing here, Chris. Don't know what you're doing. Moving on. I think he's letting the beard grow. Moving on.
We're doing country music next week.
Oh.
Sorry?
Shots fired.
So we're doing country music next week. He's going to bring out his banjo. I
wish I was a country music star.
Oh,
I'll just drive around in a pickup truck and wear checkered shirts all day. I'd love it.
Oh, yeah. Living in Texas.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Moving on away from Texas. Nathan Dorr featuring KSI, Window Kid and Big Zoo. It's lighter. We've reviewed this before, but it is the SX remix. I know there's some big thoughts on this track because I got asked to put it in the reviews. So I think we should let Chris go and then Pav.
I think leaving Pav, maybe even leave him to last, Wade.
I was going to say I'm going to go after
maybe
you.
Even cut it out.
He might need his own section for this. A few minutes, maybe just to get it all off his chest. But when Window Kid and
Big Zoo,
Brucey did Bits, this track called Bits, and they did the video in IKEA things and IKEA uniforms, not things, uniforms.
Yep.
That was like, what a record that is. I don't know if you ever heard that record. I think Pav, you might have, but yeah, that is a record.
Chris, quickly, we're not reviewing that one.
Sorry, I'm just backstory. So Window Kid can go hard. Big Zoo, he went the hardest on this track. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 on the drink scale.
Okay, right. Okay, I'm going to go next because we know Pav's got a lot.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
He's got a lot of talk to talk, so I'm going to talk next about Lighter, the SX remix. I wasn't the biggest fan of the original. I think that was the thing, but it grew on me, and now I do actually quite like it. I prefer this remix to the original. Yeah, I know. No one would have thought. I prefer this remix to it, and I want to play this remix to it because I think Big Zoo goes hard, and I like Big Zoo. Shout out to Big Zoo. Eats his program as well. Window Kid as well. I just prefer this to the original. I just think it's sick. I'm really, I can see Pav pulling faces. I give it a 4.
Oh, fucking hell.
A 4?
When
Right, guys, this is the last episode. Thank you for listening to No Drinks in the Booth. We've broken up.
I give it a 4 because Big Zoo goes hard on it, and I actually like the beat to it. I'm listening to it with no context. And I'm not being funny. Chris, you could see me mostly playing this one more than the original.
Yeah.
In my sets.
Yeah.
So it gets 4, but we know Pav is going to go hard to insert sound effect now. Pav, it's all yours.
It's just shit, innit? Let's be honest. Let's be real. And I don't even want to hate like that. Because if we've learned anything from the first 6 episodes, I'm obviously not a hater. But, my biggest problem is I actually really like everyone on the song, as in like, I like KSI, as in I like KSI's music. Like his tune "Killer Killer" is a really good. Like he's got good songs now. That's a very good tune, yeah. Like I'm actually a really big fan of SX. He's got "Always Wrong Too Soon," 2 really really good songs. He makes like a really nice like hip hop / R&B sort of in the middly style of music, and he's really good. Same with Zoo and Window Kid. Oh, but I just listened to it and I was like, oh, why did you do this, man? was just like, just why? I was like, I think my problem is I was really, really happy to see the remix because obviously we spoke about house remixes for like Head and Heart and like, and we were like, they need to come, but obviously there's no clubs open. I was like, oh yeah, a remix, like SX is like coming in, maybe he'll do a hook or he'll do something like he'll drop some fire because I really rate him. Oh, and it was just bad, man. It's just like, like when you have really high expectations for something and it just absolutely shits on you. This what this did. It's just like, I said this in the group the other day. Basically, it sounds like Nathan called him and was like, oh, hi SX, can you make a remix? Yeah, sure. When do you need it by? Yesterday. Because it just sounds like, oh yeah, I've got this beat from 2007 that I made like on my like Xbox 360. Let me just chuck this like on your tune. Give me the vocal, just bit of EQ comp, and we're in. And it just, it was just wrong. It's just wrong.
How many drinks did you give it? 1?
I gave it 1.
Wow. Okay, look, for context,
you've never listened to SX before, have you?
No, that would be why I mostly like it. Because you have an expectation limit. Because when I first listened to Lighter, I realised that I was expecting too much. So when I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's all right. No, but I was expecting like some mad bass line track, and it wasn't. So with this, I went into it thinking, right, you don't know any of these people, you've never heard any of their stuff, and I liked it. And I really like Big Joe on it, I can't lie. Okay, well, this one we're very divided on, and Pav is starting his own podcast called Opinions with Pav. Next, 2 big heavyweights in the world, Calvin Harris and The Weeknd. The track is called Over Now. I can start with this one. It gets a 1. I don't like it. It's disappointing. It's not what I was expecting.
Oh, you thought we were going to break up before? Watch this.
Well, I listened to it a few times. The only thing that saves it for me is The Weeknd.
Sorry, can we just send the NHS to Chris's house to close that jaw? I don't think it's ever going to close.
I'm here with my mouth open.
I don't like it. I don't know why. There's something not clicking. Like, it doesn't sound... It doesn't need Calvin... Like, it says Calvin Harris in The Weeknd, but it just sounds like a Weeknd song. That's it. Like, it's not clicking. It got a 1. Chris, before you have heart attack?
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I thought you'd really like it.
Yeah. I'd be honest with it. I most probably will really like it in about 3 weeks.
I was wowed by this one. I was like, this is a serious vibe. And normally, Wade, me and you agree on a lot of music things.
Yeah, no, I know.
This is crazy. I was going to go with 4 out of 5 drinks for this one. Really did it for me.
Actually, I should say, I think maybe 1 is a bit harsh because there is a track on these releases that gets a 1. Or gets less than a 1. So I, for context, because I think it will be, I need to listen to it a lot to like it, it will get a 2. But that is purely because...
he's appeasing the masses.
Most probably, yeah. Gets a 2.
It's a 4 out of 5 for me.
2 at a push. Well, whatever.
It's 4 out of 5 for me. Absolute vibe. Wicked track, 4 out of 5.
Pav?
I'm actually maybe about to set some precedent here. You guys know I'm the R&B guy. Like, everyone knows slow jams is my thing.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5.
We have our first 5. This is a controversial song.
Because I listened to it and I was like, do you know what? It just is like, again, a little bit of context. I don't really listen to The Weeknd like that. Like, I'm not like an album guy or anything, so I've never particularly been a big fan, but I know that he's decent. Big Calvin Harris fan. And I listened to it and I was like, this is just a really, really, really good, like, R&B funky style song. And I just can't argue with that. Like, I don't know what I can fault on it to lower it from a 5.
I think, do you know what? We've got very varied scores. A 2 from me, a 4 from Chris, and a 5 from you, Pav. I think the thing that maybe the reason I gave it so low, and maybe the reason you gave it so high, is I think it's going to disappear, and you mostly think it's going to hang around.
I'm not sure, but I'm not too fussed about that. But it just does sound good. And also, it's like this new Calvin Harris look. Like, I remember watching an interview with him a few years ago, and he was like, I can't make anything apart from this like 128 dance music, because that's what people are expecting. But he was like, I make everything. He plays most of the instruments on his songs and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's really talented, and I'm happy that that's come into a different genre, because I feel like it's going to make him a GOAT.
Just two things. I think one quick one. Obviously, he's putting this record out and doing the Love Regenerator stuff with "Live About Your Love," which are just that amazes me. He's put records out, and I think as good as this, and then Love Regenerator stuff, crazy. And also for me, this song, I think when I first heard this, I was like, I love this, but this is more for me. Like, I'm going to listen to this song just because I want to listen to it. Whether it's one for the clubs. Is it going to do massive numbers? I don't know. I mean, maybe it's got two huge names in it, but you don't know, do you? But for me, I was like, I'm saving this one. I'd like to listen to this.
I think I wish this had come out maybe like a month or 2 months ago when the weather was really good, because I think it would have like completely changed my view on it. Now it's got cold. Okay, moving on. Huge superstars, BTS, their brand new track is called Dynamite. Chris, you might as well go with this.
Well, yeah, I guess following on from last week. Yeah.
Exactly,
it's, really catchy, nice, happy tune. The video is obviously super glossy, well done. The view count, 300, I've got it up here, 314 million streams in not even a month. I mean, I don't know what you think about it, guys. I mean,
if it's true, it's mad.
Look, I don't expect it. Look, I'll be honest, BTS have got a huge fan base. I don't BTS Army. I don't really expect anything less than that from them.
Yeah,
I know.
I guess so.
Like, I think I'm used to their huge, gigantic numbers. Okay, moving on. Pav?
I gave it a 3 out of 5. Good song. Not particularly my taste, but I can't knock it. I did listen to it, think actually this is decent. I can understand where it fits in the sort of music spectrum. Yeah. But yeah, 3 out of 5.
Okay, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I think it is quintessential pop music. It sounds like BTS. It sounds happy. It's got a key change in it. So it gets 4 out of 5.
Love a good key change.
Love a good key change.
I love a good key change.
What about that? What's your favourite key change? As in not keys, as in like, but if you listen to one song, you're like, that was the key change.
I think key changes, the love for key changes started when it was like Westlife live on X Factor, and the key change used to happen. They used to be sitting on like bar stools, and then they used to get off the bar stools for the key change, and the last like sort of 30 seconds of the song for the key change. That's where the love of key changes started, and now BTS. Continuing the Westlife tradition.
Also,
just need some bar stools in the video.
Yeah. There's also that one in Adele's tune, the one that Bruno Mars wrote and produced. All I Ask. Is that the name of the song? Really good key change. And the only reason why they put that in is because Bruno Mars wanted to see if Adele could do it. And then she could do it, and he was like, well, that's staying in.
I watched BTS, funny enough, perform this at the MTV VMAs, which was all like socially distanced and like a lot of green screen. It was quite cool. It's very weird. And they performed it really well. And that's where I first heard it. And I was like, this is actually quite a good pop song. Yeah. Like, it doesn't really matter what language it's in. It's produced well. It's sung well. It literally like...
feels good.
Look, if you was to show someone what a K-pop song was to sound like from another planet, you want to show someone on Mars this is K-pop, you'd show them most probably this.
Yeah.
So that is why it gets 4. Okay, moving on. The track is called Freak. It's by Shy Girl. Chris, you can start if you want.
I don't know if I love this or hate it. I know that's just a stupid answer, but I actually don't know if I'm like, do I love this or do I hate it? 3 out of 5 drinks.
Fair enough.
That's it.
I gave it a 4 because I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, this is all right. And it just went weird. And I was like, it was one of those, I can understand your frustrations, Chris, listening to it. Because it was a bit of a Marmite thing. It was like you either love it or you hate it because there was so much going on. And
I don't know if it's like, amazing or not.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was. I put down that it was really wavy.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what the only thing I could describe. It was like one of those songs, like if you're a cool kid, you'd like it kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one of those like, oh yeah, this is like New Future style or whatever. Like, but I did like it because I was listening to it. I was like, it's weird, but I vibe with it, and the fact that it's like that creative means that I just have to give it a 4. Like it just was good.
Yeah, I also gave it a 4. I'm the one that put it on the reviews to be released. I just thought it was. I thought it was weak. When I first heard it, I knew I liked it. Like I understand why people think it might be a bit Marmite, but I think it was sick. I like it. It's good vibe. It's like wavy vibes. Yeah, it's one of them songs you'd sort of hear and then you might go, oh no, and then you hear it again and you're like, yeah, this is sick. So it gets 4 out of 5 from me. Okay, the last track, it got added late. That's why there's a 16, not 15. It is by our favourite 6ix9ine and Akon. It's Locked Up Part 2. I'll
go last
to start. Yeah, okay. Chris, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Silence. It's just an absolute classic like this. The thing that got me right, I watched the lyric video, and the top rated comment on the music video was someone commented, why can't his music be made as well as this instead of doing all that meme stuff? So basically what that guy is saying, who's a 6ix9ine fan, he's on his 6ix9ine, YouTube, whatever. And he said that. He literally said all the other music is just for memes. And then why can't this music be made as well as this? Well, this music was actually made in, Pav, you might know this. When did Locked Up come out? Was it 2006 maybe?
Yeah, it's like 06, 08, something around
like that. So he probably doesn't even realise that this actual beat was made 2006, 2007. I mean, make of that what you will. 2004? Mad.
Damn.
So, yeah, 6ix9ine, obviously, Akon probably got a fat check from this. Yeah, 2 out of 5 drinks for me on this one.
Okay, I'll go next because Pav's going to have a lot to say about this one. Locked Up Part 2, 6ix9ine. Yeah, I don't like it. Locked Up was a huge hit when it first came out. I know because I was around for it. And it introduced Akon to the world. It featured Styles P, who is a sick MC from The Lox, him and Jadakiss. And does this do justice to it? No, it doesn't. It's very close to a 0 because I think I'm not a big fan of 6ix9ine and he absolutely fucked up quite a good song. So it gets a 1, but when we say 1 drinks, it's like literally like just scrapes the 1. That's from me. You can only imagine what Pav's going to say now. So Pav?
Yeah. So I'm setting no drinks in the booth precedent here because you actually came really close to trumping me there. I am going to give it the first 0. This is a sorry. This is like if we were at a bar, this would be a sorry love, we're closing. No more drinks.
Yeah.
Like the tills are off. Where, when you're still serving all the other people because you don't want to like...
Yeah.
Locked Up like had such a good resurgence in lockdown, obviously because of the whole like lyric sake. And I was about that. And the other problem I have is I've been a very big advocate of the put some respect on Akon's name because bare mans forget that Akon is actually a legend. Like the guy's got, like, I was sitting there one day and I was reeling off all the hits that he's got. And I was like, oh shit.
Untold. Like a literally. List.
So he's like Locked Up, Lonely, Dangerous Girl, like, there's so many beautiful
right now.
Like literally, like, he's got like so many.
Smack that.
The biggest thing I have with Akon is not only does he have so many hits, he has so many timeless hits, which maybe this almost alludes to the fact that 6ix9ine's like used this beat because it is time. Like it sounds like if someone had released it yesterday and it wasn't a song before, we'd be like, oh yeah, it's fresh.
Yeah.
But now I'm just gonna have to stop Akon in it. Like I just can't back him like this now. Like it's done.
Well, he's actually got a lovely royalty check from this one, but
yeah, I mean he's got to pay for that city like somehow. Akonville.
Yeah. Like, he's got to pay for it somehow.
It was just I'm just getting like vexed listening, like thinking about it. Like 6ix9ine's verse was just dead as well.
Yeah, I know.
Like it was just dead.
My whole thing was if he actually had a good verse on it,
I would have backed it. I would have backed it.
And I don't like him, but it sucks.
I would have backed it. Obviously, also for context, Akon made this song, like this album, like Convict Music became a thing when he made Sorry Don't Blame It On Me, like all that tunes, because he had a court case of like an alleged like statutory rape. So this girl was in an over 21s club and like obviously told everyone under the assumption she was 21.
Are you talking about Locked Up? Are you talking about Locked Up? Or are you talking about Sorry Blame It On Me?
No, I'm talking about Akon. Like this is actually why the album. Yeah. So that album, the Convict Music, came because he went to jail, and because it turned out she was like 16, but then he won the case. So he made the song to be like, I was wrongfully locked up, but I'm still sorry. Like he made that whole thing, and now like 6ix9ine's kind of trying to jump on the. Oh, it wasn't really my fault though, was it? And everyone's like, nah, 100% was, bro. Stop it.
Well, because Locked Up, the original Locked Up by Akon, was written because he got into like he got arrested for grand theft auto.
Yeah.
Which is nicking cars, basically. Yeah, and then the whole "Sorry, Blame It On Me" thing happened later down the line.
Yeah, it was all on the same album.
Was it?
Yeah, it was on that first album. I'm pretty sure it is.
I didn't realise. Okay, well, the album did come out like 2004, 2005, long time ago.
But 6ix9ine has ruined a classic, and he's ruined Akon's career. But
he's ruined 2020. Yeah. Okay. Track of the week. Let's move on. Let's get positive. Track of the week.
Woo.
Chris, you can start.
I'm going to go with Calvin Harris and The Weeknd, Over Now.
Yes.
That's my track of the week.
My guy.
It really just hit the spot for me, and it's definitely one I'll be listening to later on. Great record.
Okay. Pav?
Yeah, but I mean, I gave it a 5, so if I don't, it's just disrespectful. But very close second is that Freak song, just because it was like, this is like proper futuristic, and I love that.
Yeah, okay. My track of the week is, I'm tied between G-Eazy and Freak. I'm going to go with Freak by Shy Girl because new wave. So Freak by Shy Girl is my track of the week. Don't forget, you can listen to all the tracks we discussed in the reviews on our Spotify, which is at No Drinks in the Booth. There will also be a link below. I'm not sure if Chris has done the YouTube playlist. I'm going to say...
It will be done. And so by the time this goes out, you can find it on YouTube as well.
It'll be in the link
so tune
if Chris has done it. And if he hasn't done it, it won't be.
I've done it the last few weeks, so I can do it again. Yeah.
I
don't check.
Yeah,
none of it.
Sorry.
None of us check.
Okay, sorry about this. Sorry, we interrupted our podcast. We're gonna have to bring this all out now. You don't even check. Well, I've done it. All of them are done. No. So this one.
Has anyone checked the emails, by the way? Because I haven't.
No. But we're talking about this off of recording.
I was just thinking, maybe someone should have a look at them. Just like 74,000 unread messages.
Does anyone check the Spotify playlist besides me? Because obviously I do it.
I listen to it. If I need something to listen to when I'm on like the train, I bump out the playlist.
Oh, right. You're the one subscriber. Good.
Yep.
Okay. We've got more than one. But don't forget, you can listen to the Spotify playlist. Link below. Please check it out because we put a lot of hard work into it.
Yeah.
We do.
No,
we don't.
We've got 3 subscribers because there's 3 of us.
Yeah. 4 if I get my sister to do it as well, and my girlfriend. 5. We're building up the fan base, but as well, don't forget, leave us a comment below on the YouTube video if you agree, disagree, what's your thoughts, and if you think we're good or we suck or whatever, all that good stuff. Okay, moving on. The main topic of today is to do with sampling. It's Pav's topic. So Pav, it is all yours.
Yeah, so this week, I mean, normally we're very planned in what we talk about, but this week I thought, you know what? Let's go off the dome. Let's speak from the heart. The best sample ever. What's your guys' favourite sample in a song? So just for context, obviously a sample in a song is if you take one song and you like manipulate it and make a new song. So like there's so many. So like Locked Up wouldn't technically be a sample. That's just using the beat with 6ix9ine and badly as well. Like a sample would be like Eminem, My Name Is, that beat is a sample of another song. So they've taken like 5 seconds of a tune and put it in and like added some bits and spiced it up and made a song around it. So it's weird. Sampling's a bit like using music as an instrument kind of thing. I think that's fair to say. Mm-hmm. Chris, what do you think? You're like our resident producer. What do you think about sampling, mate? And what is your favourite sample?
Well, I think my kind of favourite use of sampling, one of my favourite use of sampling I've heard in the recent years is What You Did by, I think, Mahalia, how you say it, and LMA.
Yeah,
I think that's
really good. That was
sampling Oh Boy. So yeah, that's really well done sampling. The thing is, obviously in house music, there's so much sampling. It's difficult to kind of think of one right now, but
just stuff that sticks to mind. Like I just thought, rather than normally we sort of debate a little bit. I think this week it'll be good to just talk about music that we like and keep it slightly topical. So let's go. What kind of samples? What do you think makes the best sample? Like, how do you think a sample should be used?
Well, I think sampling is something that should be used creatively, like, and you need to use it and make something original of it. Like, let's think about like my music, for example. Like, nearly the entirety of my music is actually technically made out of samples, because I put samples into a sampler, and that's the drums. Obviously, the synthesis isn't samples; that's like synthesizers. And then things like vocals, often they're sampled. My music isn't. It's not performed by a band. That's not samples. So technically, most of what I do is based off samples. In terms of samples in using actual, recorded music, the one that comes to mind is that literally took over music for a time, or at least UK club music, was Tough Love, Pony, and they sampled Pony, Genuine, but put it over a house track.
I remember that.
And I remember, whether this was just like my perspective, because I think that was like 2013 or 12 or something, but at the time I remember thinking like this was like in my world, one of the first times I've heard sampling kind of done so well that the track is like a massive success, and it's refreshed the track. And it was actually after I heard that track that I actually heard the original Pony, Genuine. I didn't actually hear that track before that track. So that one comes to mind.
You have lived a sheltered life.
Well, I didn't at that point. It was that's what I mean. That was my perspective at that time. That was a good 6 years ago or something, whatever that was. 7 years ago maybe. So yeah, that was like a really big moment, I think, in leasing from my perspective in terms of like UK clubs and stuff. Remember that track? It was like I don't know if it was number one, but it was definitely, it charted high, didn't it?
Well, they used this. They sampled it and made a house track, and then it got an official release, and they got Genuine to re-sing it all and stuff.
Yeah, re-sing it. Yeah, that was it. He re-sung it.
Wade, what do you think, mate? What's your favourite sample? Have you got a favourite sample?
I don't have a favourite sample.
I say a favourite sample, like it's like you have to like one song and one song only. Like, is there one that sticks in your mind that you're like, yeah, that was one where I was like, yeah, it's just
the most famous sample is the Apache drum beat.
Yeah, the Amen break.
There you go.
It's basically drum and bass. And
every jungle drum and bass,
hip hop.
Yeah, and they made zero money off it.
I know. That's
really sad.
It is really sad. There's a really good documentary.
The guy's died now. He died a couple of years ago.
Really,
the guy that played the drummer.
Documentary about it. I'll give you a couple of my favourite samples, or not the original, but like the track that sampled it.
Yeah.
Twister, Kanye West, Jamie Foxx. The track Slow Jams. It samples Luther Vandross. A House Is Not a Home. That's what it samples. Also, Kanye West Through the Wire samples Shaka Khan.
Oh yes.
Any Daft Punk song, any of their older stuff that is predominantly made up of samples around the world is a sampled song. I'm trying to think. There's also anything Just Blaze samples it comes out Legendary. He samples so much stuff. What, Just Blaze?
I've not listened to too much Just Blaze, to be fair.
Oh, you're missing out. He produced Cameron,
I know
Old
he's
Boy.
a goat. I just haven't I need to sit there and be like, right, today I'm going to listen to Just Blaze like all day.
Oh, like you if you haven't listened to Just Blaze, well known for sampling, amazing producer like Jay-Z and Kanye, but I'm talking old Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Like Cameron, Diplomats, all that type of stuff. They're like three of my favourite samples. There's other samples that I like, but look at samples in house music, like Chris said. There's loads of samples in house. I think.
Go on. Wait, sorry.
I was gonna say. I think when we're talking about samples, we have to be a bit like specific, and we're talking about tracks that sample maybe another record.
Yeah, but I mean more
a
so
vocal of a record.
Yeah,
not
more
just
so,
like
even
kick
vocals.
drum.
Yeah, like actual tunes that have come out. So when we say sampling, in this context anyway, I'm talking like how Dr. Dre did it, where he would take a funk record and cut 7 seconds and would make a completely new tune. Well, speaking of Dr. Dre, he is my favorite sampler ever. Probably the GOAT, but I'm sure that'll be an episode by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre, California Love samples Woman to Woman. That one's amazing. That one's really good.
I think what I find fascinating about sampling, similar to what I was saying about the Pony track, I remember this one comes to mind as well. So you have Pony, Tough Love. Then you also have Joe Stone, The Party.
Yeah.
Which we all know. And I remember
really
that when that came
well.
out at the time, obviously I hadn't heard, when Pony came out, I hadn't actually heard, or I didn't associate
Don't say you haven't
Genuine.
heard the original.
No, but I had obviously heard the Montel Jordan original when The Party came out in 2012 or something. But I remember some of my friends at the time were like, who's the singer on the track?
Oh,
no. And I remember this at the time. And then they were like, and I was like, it's a Montel, it came out in like the 90s. And obviously tracks like obviously Genuine, Pony and This Is How We Do It, tracks like that, you know, they came out obviously years before I was born. So in terms of like our generation, I'm not surprised that some of my friends didn't know Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It, and they were like, who's the singer? It's like this featuring this Montel Jordan, and I was like,
it's only a legend in the game.
It's like one of the biggest R&B stars, like, you know, from the mid late 90s or whatever. So yeah, I remember. But what my point is that as fascinating as that is, how people don't realize what they're actually listening to is a sample. It actually brings awareness to older records, which is obviously in terms of music business, this is why people get there. You know, you see it all the time. I mean, we've talked about it already. How many times have you seen a Destiny's Child record sampled or re-recorded as a house record? That's why they do it, is because it puts the track back in the forefront of people's minds, and then gives them publishing royalties and things like that. So it does raise awareness to older music that people should know about, I think.
Well, look, put it this way. So one of the biggest tracks out right now in the world is by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, called WAP. We reviewed it. We spoke about it before. That samples Frank Ski's Whores in This House.
And really good.
It samples it very, very well. I've heard other Frank Ski samples. People have used it before.
Yeah, I've heard that sample before in quite a few records.
There you go.
It is used really well, to be fair, in that tune. The beat is actually kind of hard on that tune. The song is really growing on me.
Well, not just that. Heady One, AJ Tracy, Stormzy, Ain't It Different. It samples the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pretty Little Ditty, which is a sample as well. They've used that. That's a sample of a sample. And it also samples Bump and Grind by M-Dubs.
Yeah. Garage.
The Garage song.
Garage track, yeah.
That's a track. Look, I've got loads of them here. Yeah.
Just listed
Sigala.
Every song with a sample ever. I love it.
Well, look, Sigala and James Arthur we spoke about earlier. MGMT's Time to Pretend. Big Sean's got a new album. Detroit 2, by the way. Sick. And he's got a track with Lil Wayne called Don Life. That samples Michael Jackson's Human Nature.
Yes.
I'm literally going through.
There's just so many. So go on.
Ava Max, Kings and Queens samples Bonnie Tyler's If You Were a Woman and I Was a Man. Like when I mean tracks are sampled ridiculously, like I'm literally going through samples.
Basically, if you go through the top 40, you'll be hard pressed to find one of them that doesn't have at least one sample in, especially these days. So Chris, you kind of sort of not stole the point, but you sort of brought it up already, talking about old songs. Do you think we need to have sampling? Maybe whether like there's always this, should we sample, should we not sample? I don't think that's really an argument anymore because everyone does it, and it just sort of works. Do you guys think that we have to have it purely on the basis of like what's the word, like keeping old music that is good alive? So there's so many good old songs, like you said, people don't know Montel Jordan. Like anybody that listens to hip hop or R&B should 100% know that song and should also know the singer. Like, he's like a staple. Like,
yeah.
Do you think that we need to have it to make sure that good old music stays alive?
I think it's a slight flip on that. It's not about should it stay alive. I think if the music...
That's what I'm saying. Is it our job to make sure that samples are done and done well so that classics can stay alive as songs? Like, there's so many tunes now. Look at like Flowers, Nathan Dorr. It's not an actual sample, like they re-recorded a different vocalist and whatever, but loads of people know that, like now young kids know that one, but don't know.
Like what I'm saying, I bet you know what I'm saying about the party
Sweet
Montel
Female
Jordan.
Attitude?
Yeah, the party Joe Stone. Like what I was saying about that, it's probably the same case now with the 18-year-olds that are listening to Flowers, Nathan Dorr. They might never have heard of Sweet Female Attitude. I mean, they wasn't alive when that was a thing.
To be fair.
But now, they now... That hook is still, still there.
And that's disgusting because Flowers was pretty much the poster boy for like good pop garage songs. Like someone says play a good pop garage song, that's the first song that comes up. Pretty much. Like there's nothing else. It's like that or Fill Me In.
But now it's Ladbroke Grove. That's like the anthem.
Yeah, it's weird days, isn't it? But Fill Me In. Do you guys remember the Fill Me In freestyle? Yes. The one, it was Mr. Jam, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Where You
Mr. Jam and Crooked FM.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god, legend! 2 samples because obviously the vocal and the beat, like it was just too good. That was just too good of a song, and somehow they got it cleared for the album.
Yeah, I think in terms of just going back to what you were saying, Pam. In terms of samples, like should they happen to keep old records going? I personally am not always a fan of this whole keeping old records alive, but I am a fan of when people use old records to like fuel more creativity and great music. Like if someone can take a sample from like Montel Jordan or Destiny Child or something and then make something new and great that's going to chart, that's going to be loved by people and people will then know that song, then that's what should happening. And obviously luckily it's not a problem. Like people sample stuff all the time. If people say couldn't get the clearances to these older songs, I think music in general could be like very different. Maybe for maybe better, maybe worse. I don't know. Like people would have to be more original and more creative in terms of creating something from scratch. But I think it's important that people continue to sample because it just adds more music and more interesting kind of, just great creativity. That's just what one. Obviously, I keep talking about it, but the Joe Stone track, I listen to that track more.
That was like
than
the poster
Montel
boy
Jordan
for
one.
new stuff, innit? For like the new life of sampling.
That track does more for me. I'm going to say it than the Montel Jordan one, and now it's a great track.
You just got Wade giving you an evil there, mate.
No. Wade's going to hate that one.
He was like yeah, that's all right, but stop chatting shit, Chris.
Like, yeah.
Pretty much,
but it's think about the Flowers, Nathan Dorr. Like, are people going to, I mean, obviously it's difficult. We can't say they are, but, are they going to go back and listen to Sweet Female Attitude? Maybe not, but at least the tracks, it's now in a new track that's done really well and people like the track.
And they make 100% of the royalty.
They don't care.
That's great. So obviously
they're
it's a great
getting
hook.
the money.
They didn't even have to make the song. They didn't even have to re-record imagine you didn't have to do work for a new song and then you got paid to be in the top 5 or whatever it was. What do you think, Wade, anyway, about what we were talking about? Like, do we have to keep the old songs alive with samples, or do you think it should just be let's just use it if it works kind of thing? Because it has kind of gone to that recently, hasn't it? Where it's like everything is a sample. And maybe I not great.
2 sides to this is, like, for example, Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande's Rain on Me samples All This Love That I'm Giving by Gwen McRae. I never knew that. But Drake's Hotline Bling samples Timmy Thomas's Why Can't We Live Together. But
big tune. Stuff
like that, I think is sampled so well that you don't know it's a sample. I think when you're just like the Joe Stone track, I never was a massive fan of The Party because I always thought Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It was better. Still think that, but it's a good track. It's sampled well. I don't like these, like Flowers is a good example of it. It's done well and it was a DJ tool that got made into a single.
Yeah.
But I don't like it when people just go, that was a hit record, let's just remake it.
So what he's saying is Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike, stop ruining Destiny's Child songs.
Oh, that Say My Name track sucks, yeah.
Oh, it's fucking terrible, isn't it? Like, genuinely is actually really... It's like, this is how not to do it. They've done the blueprint.
Yeah, but then I think sampling, like, for example, Gwen McRae in Rain On Me was sampled so well that I didn't know. Sampling Bump and Grind for Ain't It Different, it's done really well. Sampling Luther Vandross for Slow Jams, it's done really well. I think if you can use a sample and use it well, like creatively, like Chris has said, and it's done in a really good, a really classy way, is how I'd put it, then yeah, don't just rip off a track, because that's just boring.
It's lazy, and that's about money.
It is lazy,
it's not about making music.
Okay, what was I going to say? I was going to say, okay, so do you think the actual use of a sample then is, a lot of the time is, especially for obviously the old generation might sort of clock onto stuff, probably us because we listen to a lot more music than most people. Do you think the sign of a good sample is that people don't know it's a sample?
I think yes and no. Like that's
as in obviously not a hard and fast rule, but for a large majority, if it's like, oh, this sounds like he just played this guitar, but it's actually from X song, is that like all right, this is how a good sample is? Mm-hmm. Is that the benchmark?
It should fit into the track where you go, they've either used, I know the original and they've used it really well, or I didn't know that was a sample, and if that wasn't in the track, I would have been like, oh, it's missing something. Like, the Heady One track is a really good way of showing that using Bump and Grind, I know there's two samples in it, but the Bump and Grind vocal in it is used so well that if it wasn't in the track, you'd be like, oh, where's it gone?
Something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's in the track, but you don't go, oh, it's just ripped off that Bump and Grind track. Like, it's done, I say it again, it's done in a classy way. Like, very classy way. So I think, there's two sides to it. Like, it should be recognisable, but it should be recognisable to the point of it fits this track so well. Not recognisable as in, oh, they've just used a Lady Gaga sample because they want to try and get someone to listen to their track that's in Lady Gaga's camp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Okay, let's go with this one. Who do you think's the best sampler? As in producer. Which producer do you think has the most good songs using samples?
Just Blaze. There you go, Just Blaze.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to carry on and be like, oh yeah, Just Blaze because, and then you just stopped. You're like, Just Blaze, end of podcast, let's go.
Just Blaze, to be fair.
Just Blaze because one, he doesn't sample songs that were popular or songs that were known. He will literally just go in a record shop, pick out a vinyl, record it.
Timbaland did a lot of that as well.
Yeah, there you go. I think Just Blaze mainly because him and Kanye have both got that sort of old school hip hop boom bap Chicago sort of vibe to the sampling, which I really like. Dr. Dre is another one. I think you can't say who's the best at sampling.
I don't say who's the best as in like, but more so as an opinion based. Who's your favourite? There's probably a better way.
I'd say Just Blaze. Look, it sounds really bad. I'm not going to list all the stuff he's done because it's
too much,
so extensive, like ridiculously extensive. But if you know about Just Blaze, you'll know. And if you don't know about Just Blaze, please check it out because you'll be mind blown on all the stuff he's done. Yeah, I'm going to get up some of his stuff there.
Yeah, I think obviously I'm listening to him right now with the new album, but Disclosure are some people that I listen to that.
Oh really? You haven't mentioned that before, mate.
It's fine mentioning it again. But no, those guys. So those people, those guys are, some of the records they've put out over the years, they've done some great sampling, and in the new record as well. I remember the track "When a Fire Starts to Burn." I'm not sure if you
that was really good.
That's from that's a sample from not an artist, admittedly, like we're talking about, but it's from I think a speech by a preacher or something, and then they chopped it up and made it rhythmic, and that track is just unreal vibe in that one. And then thinking about a guy called Fred again, who's a big producer for he's done like Ed Sheeran, and that's a tip of the iceberg.
So underrated he is.
Yeah. So if you look on his SoundCloud, he's as well as sampling in the records he's done and released commercially with the long list of artists he's worked with. He's got some edits on SoundCloud where he uses samples from different like clips on the internet and loads of different sources, and creates some really great music, kind of electronic based, which is obviously his, when he's not producing, with artists, that's his kind of original sound. It's using samples and electronic elements. So his SoundClouds are worth a listen. Fred again, and of course, Pav, like as you've just sort of by your noises, I can tell you're excited when I mention Fred again, because look at Google him and look at the records he's done. Crazy. But sorry, Wade.
Yeah, before we sort of go into what Pav's going to say, just to give you some context on Just Blaze. So he produced Girls, Girls, Girls by Jay-Z. I know that's not a sample one. Old Boy Cameron. React, Eric Sermon. Boy, Mariah Carey. Where's the other one? Can't Let You Go, Fabulous, which you both should know. Pump It Up, Joe Budden. Fire by Joe Budden. Yeah.
Pump
Breathe,
It Up, that
Fabulous.
is a beat. The beat on Pump It Up, Joe Budden.
Touch the Sky, Kanye West. Tell me. Show me what you got. Live Your Life, T.I. and Rihanna. Exhibit C, Dre Electronica. Freedom, Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar. Like, when I mean it, the list goes on. Some of these have got samples, some of them haven't. I've said.
Sorry, guys, I'm just going back to when I was 12 and Live Your Life came out.
Oh, yeah.
How good is that song? He's so underrated, T.I.
That's a podcast.
That is, but I'll just throw that here. But yeah,
I just wanted you to see the extent of what I'm banging on about Just Blaze, to see like the stuff that is produced, which is like
he's good,
legendary, and he's a really good DJ. Really good DJ.
Is he? I've not seen him DJ.
Yeah, like he DJs like from like more like production style, like with Ableton. I think he uses Serato, but like he will make the beats.
Yeah,
like,
he's got the link thing going on. Yeah,
like he's not silly. He knows what he's doing. Really, really clever. Doesn't do a lot of DJ gigs. So it's like, was it? Anyone remember Arab Music with the MPC?
Yeah. Oh my god, that's that's so iconic. Is that real?
Yeah.
How did he do it? I don't want to.
It's an MPC sampler.
No. I know that's how he did it. I want to know how he actually pressed the buttons that many times.
Oh, like guys, like super quick. He's like Superman with like the speed.
Because I remember like watching that video as a kid. I remember my dad showed it to me, and I was like watching it again. And then you read the comments, and there's some shit in the comments on that video. Can't lie.
Oh, really?
Talking about obviously there's a lot of talk of illegal substances to fuel the fingered attempt. The amount of people on that video that have tried to make out that it's fake, and they're like, oh, if you look at the shadow in 52 seconds in the bottom left corner, and I'm like, it's just wicked. But that is a really good really good video. That is.
He does it live. You can go see him. Like, he does live shows.
Yeah, when he's here, we have to go to see that.
He's very talented. Arab Music. Like, people might remember the videos. I think the whole thing with sampling. I think the problem is with sampling these days is
just getting rinsed in it.
Well, yeah, like there's like Lady Gaga Rain on Me. I didn't know there was a sample in that.
Okay, so just to hold on that, I'm not holding it to sort of continue it.
Yeah,
DJ Khaled, big sampler, redoes a lot of old tunes. Yeah, what do you guys think? I remember playing what's his tune with SZA called? Just Us.
Yes, it samples
Miss Jackson.
Outkast.
Yeah, Outkast, Miss Jackson. Andre 3K is the GOAT, but that's a different story as well. I remember playing that in a warm-up, and this girl came up to me and she was like, can you play some good music, please? And I was like, she was like, we haven't heard of this. And I was like, you should have heard of at least one of the two songs involved here. Like, that's a travesty. Do you think he's a bit lazy? Do you think he's on that side of, actually, do you know what? I'm sampling because I know that I can afford a 1999 song, and then like take it and put a kick snare hat on it and a little beeline, and it's a new song. Well,
I don't think he sampled it very well anyway, but that was just me. But like, I was never a fan of Just Us.
I actually
like
really
SZA on
like
it.
that song, which is why I'm in a bit of a duality here, because I'm like,
Well, it's like Wild Thoughts. He sampled Santana, Maria Maria. I thought that was sampled well, but even then I thought it was a rip-off. Like,
yeah, do you think he's lazy? Do you think he's the epitome of actually
Wild
you can
Thoughts
just
is a good
take
record
a song?
though. Wild Thoughts is a good record.
Oh, big record.
I think it's a wicked record, but I just don't like the sample was
as we've learned, obviously being commercial doesn't necessarily mean being good. Otherwise, we would be the number one podcast everywhere, because quite clearly we are obviously the best music podcast on the internet, and that's not a thing. It's like just another classic episode in 4 years' time, when that's like legit a thing. Then we'll know when we've all made it. I think he can be a bit lazy with it. I feel
the one thing I'd say with Khalid. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. The one thing I'd say about Khalid is, does he actually produce any of the records?
Nope.
Because no, there you go. So whoever his studio engineer
I think he
is,
does it. Knick Knack.
Yeah,
he produces a lot of his stuff.
yeah, like shout out to him because he's the one doing all the legwork.
He produces a lot of DJ Mustard stuff as well, actually.
Really? Well, look, the one thing I'd say about the DJ Mustard's one to talk, he has sampled "Show Me Love" and he sampled.
Oh, he didn't actually technically sample it because they replayed it. Basically, if you replay it, like actually like with a synth, you still get sued, but they won't take 100% publishing. They'll take like 70. No, he still got sued for it. He still had a case.
He cleared it before, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a cleared sample, but
it wasn't. He just released it, and then they were like, obviously, they knew it was. Yeah, he knew he was going to get sued, but he was like, the beat sounds hard. But that's why they used the sample originally.
Someone like, what was it, Kid Ink and whatever. I feel like they would have got that cleared. Show Me Love.
Because it wasn't a sample, they were like, well, if they don't sue us, then. But it's called interpolation. So if you take a song and replay it, that's what it's called. Which is basically what they did. Because he did
the Jeremiah record, Don't Tell Him, that's a sample as well,
that's
isn't
such a good song as well. I love playing that tune.
What's the sample on that?
I'm not sure. I mean, to be fair, there's been some really good samples over the last couple of years. I think sampling in
I think you're
British
right about
music.
that. Yeah, because don't tell them and show me. They're not samples. That is interpolation.
He's played them with. He's made a synth to play
so
them.
Actually it's the song that they're like reusing.
Yeah. It's essentially like a cover.
Yeah, like a cover in a way.
I do think though, like I think in British music.
Sorry,
go on.
Don't Tell Them is a sample of Rhythm is a Dancer. That's the one by Snap.
Oh. Yeah. Good tune as well. I was gonna say, like, I think the sign of British music doing really well at the moment is we've had some big samples on some tunes like over the last few years, and they've been pretty decent. If we think Freak of the Week, which again I don't think was a sample, it was a replay, but it's the same thing. They still pay the same amount of publishing pretty much. That was a really, really good use. That was like this is how you do a sample. Like that was a really good tune. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sampled
and
well.
then the same beat, Mahalia Simmer
tune.
How good is that?
What a record that is.
Mm-hmm.
Completely flipped it in like just a different way. Mm-hmm. And it just still sort of works. It was like, do you think that should be like a poster boy song of like, if you want to take a really, really, because that's a big, is it Beanie Man's biggest song?
Who am I?
Yeah. When people think like Jamaican music generally, in England more so, do you think that's like one of the first couple of tunes that comes to mind?
Yeah, I don't know about Jamaican music, but if you say Beanie Man, people associate Who Am I straight away. I don't know if it was like his biggest charting record though.
But big tune. Do you think that Mahalia song is like should be like this is the blueprint of how you do a massive song in a sample and make a good song still? Oh, thanks guys.
I guess so.
Is that the this is how to do it?
Well, I mean, it's a great record, but yeah, that that's an example of it being done really well, because the new song stands up on its own. It's not. I don't listen to that and think rip off. Far from it. I actually, in many ways, think it's in a different.
Do you think it's like
world to the original?
a fond reminder? Like a fond reminder to oh yeah, oh, is it this song? Because it gets played and you're like, oh yeah, they're playing Beanie Man. Oh shit, no they're not. Like this tune's just come in. So if that's the poster boy for how to do it, what's because I love a good little rant here. What's the song to be like, this is how you don't do remaking or resampling of songs? What's your one song?
Dimitri Vegas and like Mike say my name. No, like I can't think of any really, really bad samples, because the chances are they didn't last long. Because the record companies, if they don't like it, they're pulling it.
Yeah, they ain't paying for that.
Nah, so they'll sue them and then just say take it off of everything. So I can't think of any songs that are really badly sampled,
except for Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike.
Yeah, I could think of songs that are lazy samples, like the DJ Khaled stuff, but not. That's still a very good sample. But could he have just played a guitar riff that wasn't sampled from Santana and the song would have been a hit? Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'll give you that one.
I don't think it needed the set.
It must have added to the song's success though, because people like R&B heads must have been like, "Oh, amazing! It's like a new."
But it weren't an R&B. It weren't really like an R&B song when Santana came out. It was. I know it gets classed as it. It was a pop song because it's by a guitar player. Like it wasn't like, oh my god, they've sampled Bryson Tiller or something, like a really known R&B singer. Yeah.
And to be fair, everyone has played Maria Maria and then played Wild Thoughts, because if you don't do that, like, do you even DJ?
Well, DJ City hooked me up with a good edit, so I didn't have to. But
that flip is the one. Everyone plays that.
Yeah. But my point in that sample was, it obviously contributed to its success, but it wasn't what made it successful. Rihanna and Bryson Tiller were.
Yeah.
If it was a song that didn't have Rihanna and maybe Bryson Tiller, it was more of an unknown, or maybe an artist that didn't have such a high caliber audience, then it would have needed the sample. That one is basically lazy sampling, but done well.
Do you think the songs that they sample are so big that they almost can't fail?
No, because they could fail.
They could, obviously they can, but you think like Miss Jackson is one of the biggest songs ever. Like not like top 10 ever, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're talking big pop songs of the last 20 years.
It's a bona fide classic.
It's a hit. If you play it at most places, people will be like, oh yeah, we really like this song. There's not many people that don't like that song. Do you think that beat is so iconic that just putting a fresh verse on it kind of thing is just a sort of as long as this is okay as a song, it's going to do really well?
Yeah, most
that's
probably,
basically just DJ Khaled in a nutshell here. So what we're really saying is we should start doing that, except we just don't have the publishing money yet.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Chris, get the laptop out.
I think sampling in pop music and hip hop and house and across different genres, drum and bass and all other stuff, is very different. Like the way hip hop samples stuff to the way pop samples stuff to the way house samples stuff, it's exactly the same but completely different worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I think that Chris would you'd mostly agree more that the way house songs are sampled are completely different to how a hip hop song or a pop song is sampled.
Go on, Chris, do you want to give us some insight on that?
Yeah, I think you have sometimes, normally, often it's the vocal that's taken. That's the classic one, isn't it? The a cappella from an older track, and then made into a new one. Often hip hop is like it's kind of integrated into the beat, so they take like they don't separate out the stems or the parts of the original track. They take the actual whole recording and then use like a chord or a stab or a bass sound or it's to make the whole beat. And the reason why that is because they used to use obviously like the MPC and like these sample players where they just actually chop the track up.
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes to like house and electronic dance music, they don't, that kind of equipment in the studios use less. It's more things like keys and synthesizers and things like that, where really they're just taking parts like vocals. It's
Get your
less
Juno
actually
out.
using it as a beat. And then obviously in pop, it's kind of like a little bit of both. I think pop, obviously the producers that work on pop music, they have access. They're not in like one lane or another. They have access to like anything they want, really. They're in like lots of different fields.
Yeah.
So they can use it in this way or that way.
Unless you're Tory Lanez, then you got everyone.
What do you mean?
As in, Tory Lanez is the only hip hop artist really that is put like the Chicks tape is an album now, isn't it? So like obviously, but prior to that, all of the Chicks tapes were actual mixtapes. They were like SoundCloudy kind of things. The fact that he got all those samples cleared, obviously because he got a lot of the artists in, that's a testament that
he lost money. Well, he lost money making it, didn't he?
He probably did it because he didn't like his record label, because we've heard far too much about that.
Yeah, like, but that's sort of an anomaly, because how many artists purposely sample knowing they're losing money to try and get out of an album deal?
In fairness, for me, the reason why I actually like Tory Lanez, and the first song I heard of his where I was like, I really like, well, obviously two. There's obviously Love, which again is a sample replay.
Everyone falls in love sometimes.
Which is a massive tune anyway. The other one was when he done the Controller remix. That was a big tune.
That wasn't a sample though, was it?
We've kind of left sampling now. It's kind of like that's a cover really. The Controller remix.
He did sample it. It was the same beat. He took the instrumental and just sung over it.
I remember though at one point, like I was just started going out at that time. At one point, I don't know what it was like for you guys in Birmingham. The Tory Lanez one was bigger than the Drake one, and that became a thing.
Yeah,
but
you had to play. Like, I mixed them into each other.
Everyone's done that.
You saw that. Yeah, you had to. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I think we're slightly rabbit holing here now, aren't we?
We're going down a long path.
We're going down a 7-hour podcast where we just talk about songs that we like. Oh, do you remember this song that came out in 2002? This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think now's a good time to call it quits, guys. What do you think?
I agree, and I think as well, before we get into a 7-hour podcast, everyone should hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because we are available on both. Make sure you check out our Spotify playlist, our YouTube playlist, and you can find us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at No Drinks in the Booth, and you can also find us all separately where we post all the stuff we talk about. And I think that's everything. So until next week, peace.
Love ya.